King Joe.
No, no music today. No intros today. I want to go straight into what we talk about today. And let me say something. Out of all the years, for us, it's been on social media. I've been on social media since the event of social media, right? Like since social media was a thing. Um, like I really was on Facebook, what it was called the Facebook. You know what I'm saying? Like where you can only get on Facebook and you can only get on social media through you can only get on social media through invite. You can only get on Facebook through invite. That you had to invite somebody from a college. It was colleges that had to invite you to get in, right? And I remember when I got on the Facebook. I remember when I got on MySpace and different things in social. Ooh, MySpace, y'all know that's go that goes way back, or even all the way back to Yahoo Chat. If y'all know about Yahoo Chat, y'all don't know about that either, right? So a lot of this stuff y'all think is new has already been out. Before. Like if you got Clubhouse, before there was Clubhouse, there was Yahoo Chat, where we used to all get in rooms and have rooms and have discussions in rooms that way, right? And that really was just kind of the start of like short videos and social media and people socializing. So, as someone that's been doing this and has been doing broadcast journalism for about 20 years, right? The issue that I have, I studied in college and different things like that, and now teaches broadcast journalism. The issue that I have and the problem that's going on is around 20, really 19, 2020, around the time COVID started to hit up, it was this young man that came forth and took social media by storm by the name of Kevin Samuels. And Kevin Samuels came forth and he came really kind of shaking up the industry, saying a lot of things that people thought were taboo, right, at the time. And it wasn't very many people speaking about relationships, speaking about males and their thought process, and speaking about um, women and the relationship, especially when it came to African Americans. There wasn't very many people who were speaking about that. Me being one of them, on one of the people that was been talking about this for years, as we documented. We have the receipts. You can go look on my Facebook history. You can look on the radio shows, everything. Me being one of the people that started having these conversations a long time ago, I recognize off the rip the vitriol that came with being totally honest and telling truths, right? Especially when it dealt with the female male dynamic. And when I would speak and tell, I had these conversations about how the man felt, and how the man, how righteous men act, and how different things were going. I would notice a certain stigma. I would notice something. I would notice something that would happen often when I had these discussions with the women. And what I would notice is not only would I end up having to fight against the women, I also have to fight against I also have to defend myself against the men. Right? There's a certain group of men that I had to defend myself against. And I think we all know what happened with the Kevin Samuels movement and how the hatred and vitriol and stuff like that, and how I think and I feel allegedly that I think they kind of killed Kevin Samuels. That's me personally. You know what I'm saying? They say he died of of natural causes, but I it's weird. He could have had some underlying things that he wasn't letting people know. We all have some issues that we don't let people know health wise what's going on. So, but what I've noticed since he's passed in the last what year, 2 years, year and a half, 2 years that he's passed, is now there is a huge unorganization, a huge discrepancy now that's becoming a huge issue with the quote unquote manosphere. What you mean, King? I'm seeing it's a huge weakness in the so manosphere. And I'm noticing more and more holes are in the manosphere. You know what I'm saying? I'm noticing more where it was like, okay, we had Kevin Samuels, we had different ones that would come, and they were kind of the ones that spearheaded the manosphere. But if you look at it today compared to 2020, 2021, 2022, you can see how it's crumbling within itself. And this right here, this live right here, this is what I'm talking about right now, is a warning that we need to get it together, right? That we need to pull it back together. What's up, Jackson? We need to pull it back together. And I'm going to tell you what the problem is. I'm going to tell you what the issue is. And I'm going to be kind of hypocritical and tell you what the issue is, but it is the issue. And I'm going to tell you, Kevin said, I disagree. I think Kevin Samuels was very important in the manosphere. Very, very important in the manosphere. Very important. As a matter of fact, we know Red Pill was started by white men, not black men. It was white men that said, hey, man, there's so much feminine going on. There's too much da. We know that. And then we jumped on, we kind of came in and agreed with them. Now, see, I grew up in a situation where when I was talking about single mothers, I grew up when I was talking about how women lacked accountability. I grew up in situations. I grew up talking about it. You can go look at my history. Go look at the Facebook. Go back and look at the history of the things and the conversations that I had with people talking about this, right? So I grew up with that. I grew up going through it and stuff. But this is what I noticed, right? And this is what made Kevin Samuels kind of really effective and what he taught. Agree with him, disagree with him, loved him, hate him, whatever. This is what made his thing effective. And this is what I see is lacking void in the manosphere now. Y'all want to know what it is? It's people that is knowledgeable and have studied and talk about statistics, right? Now you have a lot of cats that's really, really emotional. Like everything is based upon emotional. And what has happened is everybody has one of these. I told you it's going to be kind of hypocritical in what I'm saying, but if you listen to them, we're going to get there. What's really is happening is everyone has one of these. Now, when cats like King Joe, when I was on the radio in Macon, Middle Georgia, with 300,000 listening every week, when I was on the radio with 300,000 listening every week, guess what happened? And I was talking about, hey, women, they're lacking accountability. It's hard to find a good woman out here. It's hard, all this stuff. When I was talking about that stuff, I caught a lot of hate, right? I had the guys, and I had a lot of men telling me, they said, King, all right, you're telling me, all right, you're right. I agree. Even my cousin, my family. He said, King, I agree with everything you said. You ain't saying anything wrong. I just wouldn't say it, right? I wouldn't say it. So the whole thing was, we'll talk about it in the barbershop, but there's no way we're going to go out in the public and say the stuff that we're going to say. Right? We'll talk about it behind closed doors within each other to each other, but we weren't man enough to get out there and say, okay, cool, let's talk about it in public. Let's talk about, oh man, you stupid, man, blah, 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 right? And the truth be told is, the cats that originally started talking about it, you can tell even with Kevin Samuels, and let me get so straight. I don't agree with anybody 100%. even myself, so a lot of times I say some stuff and I go back and I listen to it, and I'm bad enough to say, hey, I'm not perfect. So when I'm wrong, I admit that I'm wrong. I have to change. I grow, right? And I evolve. But I've yet to heard a preacher or somebody talk online or somebody say that I agree with 100%, right? I agree with 100%. None of them. Well, what I found is a lot of people are coming through and are talking about relationships. And what I'm seeing is, before it was taboo for especially black men to talk about how black men felt and how black men were in the society and how black men carried themselves and what we thought in our process when it came to the women and stuff like that. It really was taboo to really talk about it. If you talked about your feelings, or if you said and talk, they used to call you Chatty Patty. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember those Chatty Patty days? You're Chatty Patty because you talk about blah, 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 right? And the same Negroes that was calling you Chatty Patties do not have, they have Chatty Patties. They have shows. They have shows. The same ones that used to say, oh, they Chatty Patties not have shows, right? Now they got a microphone of their own, right? Now they Chatty Patties. You know what I'm saying? They become that. And this is what I said. And I said this last video. When we're talking about different stuff like that, you got to follow the nerds. Don't follow the cool people because the cool people don't really know that, but you got to follow the nerds. You got to follow the people that go out there first, right? Think about all the people that's super ultra successful right now. All the men that's super ultra successful, only 1% is street guys. Think about it. Think about it. A small percentage of street guys. The Jeff Bezos, nerds. The Zuckerberg that we're utilizing now, nerds. These guys are nerds that created the infrastructure that's going on. Follow the nerds. And the nerds are saying, hey, man, this thing is crazy. But what I've learned is now, just like anything else that happens, what ends up happening is something that started pure uh, 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 so, something that started really, really pure in conversation and saying how men really felt and how men was going through and the trials and tribulations that have started was not coming from a place of we want to be divisive. It was coming from a place of, hey man, this is really how we feel. We're trying to explain how we feel to each other. We're trying to tell you how men feel, right? It really wasn't necessarily to get financial gain. But now we have a lot of cats that have so much to say. Everybody has a relationship show. I'm actually getting ready to produce one myself, right? Not with me, but for some other people. Everyone has a relationship show. Everybody has something to say. And what I'm learning is this. The thing that made Kevin Samuels effective, and if you listen to the cats now, even if you listen to the ones, like I don't listen to a lot of cats talk relationships. Like I see the little things on Instagram, snippets and stuff that come up on my Instagram feed or on my YouTube shorts feed. And I listen, I'll be like, okay, cool. I'm with it. Or nah, they don't know what they're talking about. They're just talking, right? They're just talking. But the one thing that when they had those arguments, Jesse said there's a difference between purple pill and manosphere. I agree, right? I agree. So, but the one thing of those things that have those arguments, those people that have those arguments, right? The one thing that made Kevin Samuels really relevant and win a lot of his arguments that he had, the one thing even now, and I'm gonna use Charleston White. I'm not a huge Charleston White. I listen to Charleston White every now and then. I'm not a huge fan. I tell you when I listen to him, when I don't listen to him, right? So, and what made him really effective was you could tell he studied. You could tell he studied. You could tell he studied. What made him really effective was he studied and he had experience, right? And what we have a lot now is people talking off emotions, but you can tell they ain't studied. You can tell they ignorant, right? You can tell they don't have, they're not qualified for the job to be speaking on the behalf of the men. And you can hear them. You can hear when they talk. It's a difference, right? It's a difference. What do you mean, King? It's a lot of cats out here that's giving relationship advice. They're saying different stuff, and what they're doing is they're doing what like a lot of the rappers do. They do like a lot of other people. They're talking. They're saying, giving you stuff based upon the fact that they're manipulating. They're overcompensating. They're copying what someone else has said. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's what I'm saying. Like most of us really are married. You're right, Jackson. I mean, you on it, right? They copy what other people saying. So when I see somebody like a Jackson, I don't agree with everything Jackson says, but I respect him because he goes off. I can tell he studies, and I can tell that he's experienced what he has. Anytime you have a job, right? Anytime you go for a job, it's two things they're gonna look at: what's your education? What's your experience? What's your education and what's your experience? Anytime that someone tried to back Kevin Samuels in a corner, he went back to two things: his education and his experience. Right? What he rarely went to, when I see, and it's not bad, I'm not telling you I'm not to do it. What he rarely went to was his emotions. All right? Now, don't get it twisted. Emotions is part of it. Because I hate people that be like, oh, don't get emotional. But I'm like, well, you telling me not to have a soul. What you mean? What is the soul? Body, will, mind, and emotion. I'm soulful. I'm emotion. I tell you something I can't stand for people to say. I can't stand for people to sit there and say, don't get in your feelings. Like, especially after they done did something, they done said something you came for you, and they be like, oh, you getting in your feelings. You get emotional. Of course I'm getting emotional. I'm a soulful man. I'm full of soul. Body, will, mind, and emotion. I'm full of soul. I hate when they be like, you in your feelings. Yeah, I'm in my feelings. You said what you felt. You displayed your feelings and said exactly this is how I feel, blah, 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 blah. Oh, now you're emotional. Now you in your feelings. Yeah, I'm in my feelings because you said what you said. Now you want to be a hypocrite and tell me not to feel and express how I feel. What kind of, how, oh, man. How egotistical do you have to be to sit there and say, oh, I'm going to say how I feel, and then when I get ready to express how I feel, oh, don't get it. Oh, you in your feelings. Yeah, I'm in my feelings. I'm expressing how I feel. You were able to express how you felt. I had a friend. He said something, and it was kind of out of pocket. He texted me something. He said something, and it was out of pocket. He's like, oh, now you in your, oh, don't be in your feelings. Yeah, nigga, girl, you said something out of pocket. Of course I'm being in my feelings. You said what you felt. So allow me to express myself to how I feel. I'm trying to cut it off. But what we have it now is we have a whole bunch of guys that's giving out relationship advice, marital advice, who you should be with, who it is, and it's divisive. You know why? Because they don't have any experience and they don't have any education. All they're doing is copying. And we live in a copycat society. We're all inspired from somebody. But some stuff should come from you that you ain't really heard from nobody else. Some stuff should come based upon your own life experience and your education, what you study. And what I found out is this, right? And what I found out is this. At Jackson, when you going off and then you start throwing statistics, it's hard to argue. When you start throwing statistics and you start showing that, hey, I'm knowledgeable in what I'm talking about, it's hard for them to argue with you. Right? It's hard for them to argue with you. When Kevin Samuels went against women and he started throwing statistics, it was hard for him to argue with him. But you could tell who did the actual research and who just regurgitated something they heard somebody else say. That's what happened with that's why a lot of people felt like there's a certain, I ain't gonna call the name, but there's a certain white commentator that tries to be in that scope of things. And a lot of people off the rip, I was like, yo, man, like, nah, I ain't with it. And I was like, yeah, she's saying some good stuff, but I see where it's coming from. It's not organic. You know, yeah, she may feel and believe that stuff, but I feel like this is more like a play for financial success than it is organically trying to help people. Organically trying to see people win. Organically trying to see relationships grow. You know what I'm saying? And we could tell if you really, really look at the management, you go check out the videos. Check out the videos. And what we're seeing now is feminism starting to recreep back into that situation, whereas we were starting to kind of get a little equality in the situation. Now you trying to see feminism push back because we don't have leadership. Or the ones who are the leaders aren't the popular ones. And it's very smart for them to infiltrate that domain to control the narrative. That's the playbook. That's the playbook. So while Kevin Samuels was the two things that I most admired from him was when he spoke from experience and he spoke from education and stats. What you mean, King? I mean, what you mean? Because when you're speaking from experience and education, it's hard to beat that. It's hard to beat that. When you're just sitting for your emotions and feelings, not that it's a bad thing, not that it's the worst thing, you could combat it. Right? You can combat it. And I'll tell you, I was watching my man Anton. I was watching Anton. All right, I watch him all the time. I like him. I think he's cool people. Right? Anton. I think he's one of the few ones that kind of carry. I think he's not as, he's one of the few ones that carry that torch. But this is the thing. The issue with Anton, I was watching Anton, he does a little show on Monday night. Shout out to them. They're a great show. I watch them a lot. And and Anton's starts throwing statistics, and he has a friend, and the guy's funny. He's charismatic. He's a good guy. He's like somebody that you want to hang out with and just chill with, right? Great guy. But this guy, every time Anton throws out statistics, he go, "Oh, them Kevin Samuel statistics," and he be like, "No, bro, these are CDCs. You ain't researched." Oh, y'all throwing out the red pill, the manosphere certificate. No, this is the CDC. CDC says that 77% of black women are single mothers. That's not a King statistic. That's not a Kevin Samuel statistic. That came from people that actually did the research. The CDC says are the ones that sit there and said that 17% of our men are responsible for all the mass kids in society. Oh, that's a Kevin Samuel. That's not a Kevin Samuel statistic. That's a CDC statistic. When I told people the other day, I was like, "Yo, y'all do know like the homosexuality, LGBTQIA is not for the movement of black people. That's why I couldn't support Black Lives Matter." I was like, "Oh, you can't support. You don't like black. I love black people. But I understand the organization that's using the terminology that isn't for the support of black people. How? Because they support abortion and they support homosexuality. Well, what I got to do with black people? Now, I understand that one in every two black men will develop HIV. Not could, will. That's not a King statistic. That's a CDC. Heterosexual black men only make up 77% of HIV cases. That's not a King statistic. That's not a King statistic. Kids growing up in single family homes with mothers are more likely to end up in jail, homeless, and poor. That's not a King statistic. That ain't something I heard. That's something I read and studied. And the issue with manosphere right now, the issue with red pill, purple pill, whatever pill that you're taking, the issue right now is we're discombobulated because we got a lot of cats that's out there talking that aren't educated and they don't have experience. They're just talking about what they feel. They're saying something that sounds good but has no basis. Prove it, King. Y'all remember, y'all just recently, right? Y'all know this real popular that's going now. This thing that went down with Cam Newton and Charleston White. I told you, I listen to Charleston White. No diss on Charleston. I made jokes about it, but no diss on Charleston White. I listen to him. I understand what he does. I understand his gimmick. I understand what he does, right? But listen to Charleston White, right? When Cam Newton sit there and said, Charleston, he said, "Man, I don't like your approach and how you saying stuff." Right? Your delivery. And that's what they came to me, man. They've been talking about my delivery since 2010. Probably earlier than that, 2008. Oh, you deliver. I had my friends saying, "Oh, it's the people are accepting you more if you deliver us." You talk about your delivery. What was Charleston White come back to that? He hit him with statistics. You worry about my delivery when these kids can't read. Here are the stats. You worry about my delivery, but this is the baby mama. Here are the stats. Then he came and hit him with experience. You didn't say nothing to Sugiyani when she was talking about getting hit in the booty hole. Here's the stats. We're too busy worried about our feelings and emotions that y'all don't have no basis of what you're saying to stand on. A lot of stuff that I was teaching, my basis is what? Religion. Scripture. Think about it. You just out here being emotional, just saying stuff. But what's happening is there is no clear-cut direction or stability, so people can pick it apart and be like, "Oh, that ain't serious. Oh, he's just talking to his emotion. He ain't saying what he's supposed to be saying." Think about it. Even with the issue with Cameron and Mace, right? Cameron, they were ready to destroy. When Cameron told the story about him and Mace being at the whorehouse, they was ready to destroy Cameron. Melissa Ford had said something so irrational. They were ready to destroy that man. They was ready. She had set the groundwork for feminism to jump on Cam and Mace. Well, you know, it was underage girls probably there. And people like, you know what? It's a whorehouse. She probably right. Right? And I appreciate Cam, and I'm so glad Cam was able to come back and say, hey, yo. Let me give you some stats. Let me give you the facts. We were underage. And the most prolific thing that Cam said that everybody jumped off, and I caught, as soon as he said it, I caught it as soon as he said it. He said, we were underage in the whorehouse. Who was protecting us? I said, they said, oh, they got to hush. Who was protecting? Not one person came back and said, you know what? He's right. Who was protecting the 16-year-old kids that's in the street, in the hood? Who's protecting the 18-year-old, 19-year-old millionaire? How many times do we see young kids that's successful that turn out, and you be like, dang, what happened? Who was there protecting them? But if he didn't have those facts and those stats, he come out and say, hey, this is 1996. This is during this time, and we will be this age. This is the fact. If he come back and had those facts, that. But he hit him with, who was protecting us? Society doesn't care about the man, the black man. And matter of fact, to be honest with y'all, if y'all really want to know the truth, I probably shouldn't say this, but this is real. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this. If y'all really want to know the truth, population control is not about killing everybody. Population control is more about killing men. That's why we die earlier than women. Because the men of affluence, they sit there and say, hey, who's gonna, all right, if there's gonna be rebellion in a society, who's more likely to rebel? Men or women? Who's more apt to win a rebellion? Men or women? Right? So really, population control, it's really about killing men. We said in the black community, 17%. And we're Anton here, old buddy with, I forgot his name. I forgot the dude with the beard. Cool dude, man. You want to hang out with him, but I want to be like, man, listen, Anton, you let him slide. You let him slide, Anton. You should have went for the stroke with the cable and said those Kevin Simmons did. Like, no, Negro, this is CDC. This is something that they actually did certain research on. And all he had to do was say, all right, cool. Let's just do a research in our community. Your guy, I don't have any outside kids, and you know what I'm saying, did things the right way. Your guy, let's do it here on the show, Right? Let's just talk about it. Ain't many like Jackson that say, hey, we got married and we don't have any children. We're responsible. It ain't many of us. Right? And I'm gonna say something too. A lot of y'all niggas talking got multiple kids and y'all ain't taking. Y'all be like, I take care of my kids. That pay that little child support, showing up every other weekend. That's partial parenting. You know what I'm saying? It is. I know you're in the situation. You do the best that you can. But let's just call it spade a spade. That's partial parenting. Right? Partial parenting. But what I was gonna say was, at the end of the day, when we sit here, you have, you have, let's do the math. Let's responsibly do the math. Let's do the math, right? Let's do the math. Think about and single mothers. This is really an indictment on your decision. Think about your baby daddy. Think about the baby daddies out there. How many of them you the only one? I'll wait. How many of you the only one? You the only baby mama. The average is 3 to 4. So either with statistics to back up reality, we can deduct that it's probably true. Bro, have I said anything? Hello? 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 But we got guys giving relationship advice that ain't really take care of the kids that they got now. You're a relationship guru, ain't never been married. Ain't had a successful relationship that lasted more than 6 months. I'm gonna tell you another thing. I ain't mad at him. Like, I'm gonna tell you another thing that I think is that we beat it up too much. Like, real men, we got this thing about real men and fake men, blah 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 blah. I hate using those vernaculars, but it's all good. Guys, everybody hating on passport guys. Passport bros. Be a passport. Go get your girl from Africa. It's cool. Go get your girl from Africa. You know, the world is small. It's shrunk. You know, the advent of the information highways is shrunken the world. It's small. You know what I'm saying? You can get away. You can ride. You can fly. You can drive. You know what I'm saying? You can get on emails. It's shrinking. Social media has made the world a smaller place. But why we don't hear a lot of them guys say, hey, man, let's get it right at home? Let's stand together and make it right at home. Let's get together as a unit and say, hey, this ain't gonna be it. This ain't it. You know why? Because we got too many people in their emotions. I don't like your delivery. Oh, but you got a lot of guys that's baby mamas. I'm sorry, they're son husbands. They grew up in that atmosphere. Yeah, I saw the little boy that pushed the mom off. He's my he, he he's my profile avatar for right now. They pushed the little mama off and start crying. All right, gotta start crying. People talk about, oh, his mama lost his innocence. No, she ain't leave his innocence. She ain't the first time he done seen her twerk. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. He was embarrassed. She didn't disrespect him because she grown. That ain't her man. That's her son. He she disrespect him. Oh, hey, that ain't her man. That's her son. That's her son. That's her son. That's her son. And when he grabbed her like that, he put himself on an equal level with his mother. Come on, what we doing here? He about as much as the little boy that slapped his mom that was high on drugs and slapping his mama. No matter what situation it is, man, it's a respect level that you got to show. He felt comfortable grabbing his mom instead of going, Mom, you're embarrassing me. Mom, stop. And then challenge the man. Oh, that little man he gonna be great when he great. No, he ain't. He crying. Then he start crying. Why? Because he's not a man. We've been telling kids since they babies, you're the man in the house. He's not a man in the house. He's not a man. He ain't went out and killed no lion, no tigers or bears. You had to prove that your manhood coming up an hour. That's the first mistake. Telling that little boy he a man. That little boy ain't no man. He a little boy. He showed you the child because he cried right after he got his mom off him. Oh, he lost the innocence in his mom. No, that wasn't what it was. Son husband. And I think it's bad. Son husbands are bad. Son husbands are out here bad. Like real bad. Real bad. Real bad. And you got women trying to defend it. Oh, well, they got son husbands because men had hurt them so bad that they can only trust their little boys that they have. And I'm like, yo, do you not know that the whole thing of you having a son is so you to rear him up so he can get out and go procreate and have another family and start the whole thing, not stay with you forever? Do you know that single mother sons are less likely to get married than men that grow up in two-parent homes? That's statistics. Son husbands. I got with King, she was inappropriate. Yeah. You want your one twerking like that? No. No. Was your mother twerk like that? No. My mother was in church, my dude. My mother grew up in my mother was Kojic, strict holiness. My mother felt like my mother was so that my mother and father was so like that was so crazy to me. They wouldn't even like dance. My mother taught me how to slow drag in our living room because she didn't want to go out and other people because that stuff would affect their witness. They felt like it would affect their witness if they was out dancing and stuff like that. Even today, I had a friend that went to a concert, and I have he's a preacher, he's a bishop actually. He went to a concert, and he's at the concert, and they got demolished because he was at the concert. So no, my mother probably wouldn't be out there twerking. Twerking wasn't really a big thing. Well, twerking's been around probably since Africa, but twerking wasn't really like a big thing. So no, I've never seen my mom twerk. Have I seen my mom and dad dance together? Yes. My dad was very affectionate with my mother. My dad, every time my mother be cooking, my dad come there, pat on the hip all the time. Pat on the booty, turn around, she give him a little a smudge kiss while she cooking. I had a friend ask and say, "Hey, if you had a family member and they was out twerking, would you be all right with it?" Yeah, she grown. Like, I think people act crazy. Like, do y'all not understand we live in the OnlyFans society? All these women, I saw all the and this is why I hate this. I'm telling you, this is why there are holes in the manosphere because we sit up here and we cherry pick what's good and what's bad, right? These same women that will sit there and talk about F nigga free, or these same women that sit there and talk about Sexy Red has a right to talk about what she talk about. Suki Yone has a right to talk about what she talk about. She could be out there talking and do all that stuff. These same women that sit up there and say what's a Christian rock? Come on, can we leave those people in 2024? I mean 2023. Like we go to 2024. Can we leave those? Can we leave those behind? I mean, how many times Blueface and Christian Rock gonna have to fight for y'all to be like, oh, this is interesting? Let them get their money. I want them to get their money, man. But come on, y'all, really? And that's what I try to tell y'all. We perpetuate these societies. We perpetuate these systemic situations and say they're wrong in certain instances and try to cherry pick instead of just being straight up on the whole thing. That's how I said it. They're like, "Hey, are you arguing for the woman that's twerking? You mean to tell me you support her twerking on the dude?" I'm like, man, don't you twerk on your videos? Who you think watching more of your TikTok? Ain't it kids on Facebook? Ain't it kids on TikTok? Ain't your children? Don't your children have asses hitting? Some of y'all don't. Some of y'all got them cut off. You think your kids don't know what you're doing? You think your kids ain't listening to your conversation? Some of y'all kids up this morning reading your post, shaking their head. How I know? Because my kids call me, be like, man, I can't believe you said that. My students be like, oh, man, I saw your post, man. That was crazy. But y'all want to act all high and mighty like people ain't out here doing that. Saying she a bad mother. Then what? Hush, King. We perpetuate these situations. And the manosphere, listen, what happened was hitting them with statistics saying, hey, this is what's happening. This is gonna make it well, blah, 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 blah. And guess what? When men act like men, women follow. Some, some, some follow. Some. The smart women follow. Some. You got some hard headed ones that's just gonna do what they want to do. I told y'all, like there's just some hard headed ones that are gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna want to do. We gotta get focused, man. Focus. And that's what I'm saying. When I look at the manosphere, the red pill, purple pill, whatever pills you want to take, blue pill, whatever you want to take. That's what you take. When I look at it, I see it's discombobulated. I mean, they beefing with each other, dissing each other. Something about community. And they ain't dissing each other saying, hey man, I'm doing this to make you better. Like I was there was I was watching the NBA the other day and Shaquille was on talking about Zion and how Zion didn't run the floor. You know, he was giving them really some good pointers and say, man, I had people pull me to the side and say this to me, right? Because I was getting 24, I was getting these points and blah, 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 but I could have been a lot more dominant, right? And they asked Zion, I respect Zion for something. Zion, I know what he wanted to say differently, but I respect what Zion said. Zion said, "Hey man, if they really care about me and want me to be better, I said what they say. If it's just to be, a talking point or something like that, whatever." And that's where we are here. Are you just doing that for popularity, or do you really want to affect change? And there's nothing wrong with being popular because the more popular you are, the more you get your message out. Shoot, I want my platform to get more popular because I feel like I have a message to give to people. I feel like I have a message to spread. The more you give, the more you receive. I believe that. So guys, if you're doing these shows and you got popularity or you're doing these posts and you got all this stuff going on, man, what's your basis? What are you standing on? What's your moral ground? Like I said, I like Charles White. Charles White went right back to statistics. I understand what Charles White does. He told you. He said, hey, man, when he got out of prison, he got out of prison to go do good, right? He got to go to prison. He came out with the bow tie and all that to affect change and do all this stuff, and nobody paid him attention. And what until he started being interested? And you know what? And my mom told me the same thing. She said, King, she said, you gotta have even in church. She's like, yo, you gotta hit him with the word. The word is most important. So like that's most important. But you gotta also add a little, you gotta be a little bit entertaining so that you keep them captivated. So I got what he's doing. He gotta act, he gotta act niggerish to keep people interested. Every other week he gotta get him find himself in something, some type of turmoil or something to keep people interested so he can turn around and try to give them the message. The only issue with doing it like that is normally the negativity catches up with you. You said, I mean, either way, listen, either way, it's like anytime you do something positive, they're gonna destroy you anyway, right? They're gonna destroy you anyway. But normally, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. That's my only issue. Like Charles, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? So that's what I mean. It is what it is. It is what it is. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you making your content? Why are you sharing it? What's your basis? Oh, what's your motives? Is it something you love doing? You can tell it's something I love doing. I've been doing this since 2006. I'm just not starting to get money from it. It's something you love, something that you enjoy. Are you trying to help people? Or people turn their back on you because you're telling them the truth? Have I become your enemy because I tell you the truth? Do you not like me because I'm telling you the truth? Does my truth cause you to look at your mirror at yourself and evaluate? Guess what? Anytime you really telling truths, right? The first person you have to evaluate is yourself. Could I have been better? Could I have made a better decision? Like I started out even to make this video this morning because I was evaluating myself. Like, okay, am I part of the problem? You may be part of the problem, kid. The discrepancies in the manosphere, we can fix it. First, unity. First, education, experience, unity, unity, and it's so many different avenues that's shown, examples that's shown that when men come together and women, when men and women come together, they can make changes. Talking to my bros this morning though, when men come together, we can affect change. But all this little infighting and I don't like this person because of this. They said this, I don't like them, I don't mess with them, blah, blah, blah. Just don't mess with them silently. Because the women seem like, y'all fuss more than we do. It's a reason. You know what, though? I'm wearing red. It's crazy I'm wearing red. And I'm not even a Republican. I'm an independent, right? But it's a reason why more men are starting to align with the Republicans, the Democrats. Black men included, right? Black men included. There's a reason. It's definitely a reason. And that's because fundamentally, a lot of what the Republicans stand for, a man is stand for, right? More the traditional values. The issue that we have with Republicans is the racism. Obvious, you know what I'm saying? Obvious issues that we have with Republicans is the racial disparity. But at the end of the day, man, like other than that, I don't see much. Like I've had more things aligned with the right than I had left, right? And I'm an independent. I'm down the middle. I think both of them are evil. I think the blue and the red, both of them are evil. Like at the end of the day, I mean, it's choosing. They say choosing the lesser evil. I don't even know if it's a lesser evil. I think they're equally evil. As we get ready to go into this political party, this political season next year. Oh y'all know I can't wait for the political season to start. Y'all know already. I'm amped up for that. I'm amped up. I've been chilling, like I've been watching a couple, just kind of sticking my head in every now and then the politics to see what's going on. Keep my eye watching a couple of debates, seeing who the head persons are, who I like. Well, I ain't found them yet. I ain't found a candidate yet, right? At the end of the day, we think it's probably gonna end up being Biden and Trump at the end. But I'm still holding hope there might be a dark horse somewhere, right? It might be a dark horse somewhere. And my issue is this, and this is the issue that normally happens with men is a lot of times our downfalls are on women. A lot of our issues that we have and a lot of tribulations and trials come from the women that we deal with. It is what it is. We all make bad decisions. It is what it is. I had a woman tell me the other day, she was talking about it's the men. I was like, well, wait a minute, wait. We dealt with all these men and these men put us through so much stuff. I was like, girl, a good man, if a good man stood there and said, with a sign from the Lord, I'm a good man, this y'all would still be like, nah, I don't know. I don't think so. Even light could be illuminating from that he's a good man. I don't know. Y'all will find a flaw somewhere. Ooh, his nails are too long. y'all could put. Listen, I tell people all this. Women are the worst decision. Women are the worst. The worst. The worst decision in men. They make the worst decision in men. The worst when it comes to deciding who they should be with. And they disrespect everybody that be telling them they ain't the one for you. Men do it too, because I did it. Everybody was telling me, hey. And I still was going full fledged, full steam ahead, right? But we all do it, but man, not like women, man. Women, y'all go full heads on it. They can say, hey man, that man ain't no good. He playing you, girl. Blah 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 blah. Y'all can hear it from the horse's mouth, and y'all still be like, you know what? I think that's the one for me. You know what I'm saying? That's what. And the crazy thing is, the one that's actually for you, you make them jump through so many hoops. You make them jump through so many hoops, so many things. You can be disrespectful. You be like people like I hate one thing I do hate, and I think partly because I am a stepdad, I hate the simp thing, and that's because once again I'm in my feelings and I'm allowed to be there because of that, right? Because I be like, wait a minute now, wait. How am I the simp when I'm taking care of the responsibility, right? I'm taking care of it. I'm taking care of it. They don't make sense to me. They don't balance to me. Like I'm stepping up. I'm the simp. That's what I'll tell you. You got a lot of people talking. They don't know what the crap they talking about. I had a brother. He's like, yeah, man, I think a simp is a person that ain't have kids. I said, well, dang, was Joseph a simp? He said, huh? He's a church guy. I said, Joseph was a simp. He's like, what? Was Joseph a simp? What you mean? Was Prophet Hosea a simp? Huh? No, that's different. What you mean it's different? The angel of the Lord told him to marry her. No, but your definition said that a simp was a person that was married. Your definition is a person that doesn't have kids and marry a woman with kids. You said that was simpish. I'm like, was Joseph the father of Jesus a simp? No. I said the Bible says he was righteous. That's what Scripture said. Scripture says he's righteous. You're saying he's a simp. One of the first example of righteousness in the New Testament is Joseph. Research. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be honest with you. Let's keep it funky. Matter of fact, everybody talks about Mary. The most important part in the situation with Jesus really is Joseph. Why you say that, King? How you say that? He shouldn't have, because Joseph provided the legacy. Teach that, King Joe. Without Joseph, guess what? Jesus is not a descendant of David. Woo! Go do your research. But we call him a simp. The legacy of King David goes through Joseph. But maybe put the Bible out and show you. So yeah, I'm emotional about that a little bit. But let me say this, guys. Let me say this. Listen to me. Listen to me, guys. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen closer. Don't leave. Don't leave. Stay. You gotta hit the next part. But with that being said, do not, by all means, do not, if you can, avoid, all means, avoid marrying a woman with kids. Don't do it whatsoever. Don't do it. Avoid it. Unless she's mature enough to handle it. Unless God tell you to. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it 110% protective with you. I'm gonna keep it 110 with you. Unless, because I'm telling you, this son husband thing is real. Real. And if you know anything about women, they love them sons more than they love their daughters. That's a different type love. Different type. It's a different type. It's a different type. Totally different type. Totally. Totally different type. And a lot of times, no, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna have the stepdad show. We're gonna have the stepdad show. I gotta have it. I really think. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna stay there for the stepdad show. I'm gonna have the stepdad show. When I have the stepdad show, we gonna really, really talk about some stuff. Cause like I got a group of them that we talk and we sit there and I had to confide in. We had to call. I had to call and say, hey man, what about this? And they give me advice about how to do it, how to maneuver through it. And I was like, God, oh, like we really do go be going through this. He's like, man, yeah. And we always ask that one question that we always leave blank. If you had the opportunity to do it, would you do it again? Would you do it again? Y'all gotta understand that stepdad thing is crazy. That stepdad thing is crazy. From the Bible, it's from scripture to now. If you're a believer, if you're gonna watch that stepdad thing in the scripture, it's great. I mean, it started off the rip in the Matthew. Off the rip, it started Matthew. Jesus hit Joseph with, "You not my daddy." Off the rip, I was like, God, no, even Jesus. Oh my God, not even Jesus. Jesus hit Joseph with, "You not my daddy." Yeah, off the rip. I'm like, God, this scripture even showing there's gonna be issues. You know what I'm saying? I mean, scripture. I'm like, dog, like off the rip. Y'all gotta study. Y'all ain't studied. Y'all gotta go study that. Go read that. The stepdad thing is scripture. I'm telling you, been a stepdad. I done had to go study. I done had to read the Bible. I done had to pray. I done had to get counseling. All that. All that. Listen, I'm talking from experience and studying. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. Listen, that stepdad thing is different. It's a different beast. Anybody that say that a stepdad is weak or simpish or whatever, they don't know what the crap they talking about. It's a whole different monster. Whole different monster. Being a stepdad cause you leave your wife, man. No lie. No lie. The woman that you fell in love with, it'll cause you be like, you know what? I don't even want to do this no more. True story. True story. I'm telling y'all gotta go study the word of God. People like, oh man, no man, no. Because I'm gonna tell y'all in a minute. Nah, we talking about it. I want to give y'all so many nuggets on the stepdad thing, but I'm telling y'all that's what I gave y'all. Go check the scripture. Jesus hit Joseph with the stepdad speech. And I was like, oh snap. Are you serious? Are you serious? Go check it. Go check the scripture. Go check the scripture. I'll tell you what happened. Right? Jesus was 12 years old and hit him with, hey man, don't you know how to be about my father's business? I'm gonna tell you, all right, Mary and they went to Jerusalem. Lost Jesus for 3 days. They thought Jesus was with the company of the caravan that they was with. Lost him for 3 days. Had to go look for him for 3 days. And they finally found him. He was in the temple teaching. They was like, Jesus, yo, what's up? what you doing? Mom went to him, and I see the interaction between him and his mom, right? The interaction is his mom. Because the stepdad, you're going to be like, I ain't dealing. I ain't trying to have all that heartache. Yeah, you got it. You handle that. That's something I ain't got nothing to do with me. And he goes, hey, anybody time? He's like, hey, man, I'm about my dad. They ain't my daddy. I'm about my daddy's business. Hey. Pray, Key. It caused you to pray, bro. That thing will have you counseling and praying, baby. That stepdad will have you counseling and praying. Hey, listen, I should not tell this story. I'm gonna tell this story, right? I'm gonna tell you, I ain't gonna call no names. If y'all know who this is, please, Lord, don't let nobody know who this is. Listen, I was sitting there, and God gave me plenty of warnings about the stepdad. I'm talking about plenty of warnings. I was sitting there, it was a conversation. It was between two brothers, and this dude was like, man, he's like, man, I got 5. Ain't none of them mine. And I was sitting there like, I'm just listening. I'm ear hustling like I'm a. He's like, man, 5 of them. And I'm thinking like, dang, 5? He said, I got 5 of them, man. And he was talking to me. He was talking to another brother, trying to get advice. Because, like, the stepdad thing is serious. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Like, if y'all don't know, like, people that be like, the stepdad's a simpish. No, my brother. Being a stepdad is the hardest thing you can do. You gotta be a special individual. My cousin even said this. He like, you gotta be a special individual to be a stepdad. You do. Everybody ain't cut for that. It ain't. I agree. Everybody ain't cut for that. Miss that is a totally different situation. Totally different situation. And a lot of times, we here, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. Let's jump off the bridge. A lot of times, the issue is this. A lot of times, especially if you marry her late, and they've had that son and mother develop a relationship, and she's been teaching him he's the man of the house, right? That's a connection that they have, right? They have a connection. So a lot of times, this is what I'll tell you about the boy that through the dancer was mad and started crying about the mom. Because a lot of times that connection is, hey man, you about to let this other dude come take my spot, right? They're like, oh, he's just being protective of his money. What is the husband supposed to do? Protect, provide, do all those things. So when he says, hey, you know what I'm saying? You about to let him take my spot. Right? We don't talk about a lot of this. Like, this is the conversations that you really got to have. You know, you got to have these conversations. I had to have it with my stepson. I like, listen, man, that ain't your job. That's on me. And if it was your job, you couldn't do it anyway. You 13, you 14. Can't provide for no family. Well, you got to provide for yourself. Y'all don't, bro. Y'all should be. Hey, I don't know why Lord had me coming up with this morning doing this, but I'm talking talk. That's a different beast. Different beast. Different beast. If you ain't experienced it, all these men that talk crap, all these men that talk to be, oh, I'm this, that, and the other, I'd be like, man, be a stepdad, bro. With contentious children, the contentious situation. You know, let the daddies still be alive. see if it's for the faint of heart. You know what I'm saying? See if that's for the faint of heart. Don't have no kids and be a stepdad. See if it's for the faint of heart. You know what I'm saying? Because it's crazy. It's really crazy. And then the older they get, this is the issue is the older that they get, it's a conflict because you have your husband, that's the man that you need to be taking care of, but then you also got the son, that's a man that you're trying to take care of too. So she's divided. The difference is in a married husband that is with their biological father or somebody that really are the same situation is they both have invested interest in that child. It's a vested interest. We both, that's my seed, that's biologically mine. He has my DNA, blah, 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 blah. It's both of that invested interest. So the interests are the same. You got to find you a stepdad that the interest is the same as the child. If his interest is not that, If he like, I mean, they cool. I'm with you though. I love you because I hate when we be like, we a package deal. It is, but it's not. Because guess what? The kids don't have to accept you. The kids ain't gotta take your last name. Experience and statistics, right? And 9 times out of 10, the only reason that your kids deal with their step parents is because of you. You're the common denominator. Common denominator. Because if you wasn't there, yeah, they wouldn't have any dealings. It wouldn't even be. Why would they? You got an adult dealing with a child. They would probably have no dealings. And I did my own research, being the teacher that I am. I had a conversation last year with from high school to middle school to high school. And we talked about, and we had all the kids that were step parents. I had about 40. I told you I had about 100 kids, right? And I did my own little experiment. And I asked, how many of y'all really want y'all about today? Like, nah. The guys, the boys. The crazy thing was the girls. The girls was like, you know. But I was more shocked that it was more girls thinking like that too. But the guys was definitely like, she ain't need him. I was like, what? She don't need him. She need a man. She got me. That was there. I'm talking 99%. She got me. She don't need him. She got me. And I looked at them like, boy, you ain't even working. How you provide it? We've been making it this long. that be that. That be that. We made it this long together. And hey, in a couple years, I'm talking about high school guys who are like, man, I'm about to get me a job working at Zaxby's. I'm talking about this. I could not make this up, guys. This is a true story. I'm about to get me a job working at Zaxby's. I was like, yo, Zaxby's job is going to take care of a whole family, my dude. And you know what his thought process was? We've been making it together this long. What she need him for? Teach that King Joe. 99%. It was only like one person out of all the kids that was like, he's been good. Now the girls, it was a couple girls like, oh yeah, he's good. He's been taking care of. He's been taking blah 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 blah. He gets me what I want. Blah 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 blah. It was strictly on what he does for them. The boys, she ain't need him. She don't need him. She ain't even. I said they did the research. I was like, man, I just always thought like, all right, how my kids really perceive me? I was shocked. I thought it would be more like 75, 50, 99%. And if you really had a real conversation with your kid and be like, hey, how you really feel about your stepdad? How you feel about your stepmom? They would really rather you be with their biological parents. They would really rather you be married to their biological dad. I had stories of young men fighting their stepdads because of the fact the stepdad was trying to have a relationship that they really want with their biological father, and their biological father wasn't trying to have that relationship with them. So they fought the stepdad against that. I'm gonna do a whole show. I gotta stop. I'm gonna go. Let me go back to the manuscript. I'll go back to the manuscript. But yeah, it's fractured. And we can pull it together. It's fractured like the multiverse. Which brings me to what's happening in Disney. And this is the thing, man. That's just a little thing, a little small patch of the stepdad syndrome. We're gonna talk about that. But this is the thing. What Apple showed, not Apple, I'm sorry. What ABC, Disney, ESPN, and the Hearst Group, y'all don't know about it. Y'all gotta learn about the Hearst Group. The Hearst Group was a big proponent of this push of LGBTQ. They try to say it's equality. It's equal for everybody except the heterosexual man, right? Because they feel like the heterosexual man has already. When people we start hearing people talk about equality, they're not really talking about the heterosexual man because they feel like the heterosexual man has the advantage. Okay, they feel like, hey, we're catching up to where he is, right? But this is the problem. The problem is this, guys. The problem is this, ladies. It's not a diss. It's just what it is. We made the world go around. It is what it is. We made the world go around. Like, we made the world go around. You know what I'm saying? We invent the stuff that makes things happen. We do. We do. We made the world go around. You know what I'm saying? The big thing now. What's the big? Y'all know the world is getting ready to change. The world's getting ready to change. We've been predicting this. The world's getting ready to change. That's why I tell y'all to follow the nerds. Y'all don't listen to me. I be like, yo, y'all be trying to follow the popular people. I mean, like I said, I watch everybody, but I follow the nerds. You can ask my wife. I go to sleep on the nerds. I'm watching it. I wake up and I rewatch. I make notes of what they're saying. You follow the nerds. You got to be a part of the nerds. That's why I'm glad I'm part of the nerd family. They invited me in. They said, come on, King. They adopted me in the nerd family. I said, I knew I was there. I was fighting against them my whole life. Follow the nerds. And the word nerds is turning wheels on itself. And y'all know what's going, y'all know what the big thing is now? The big thing is in social media. But see, as everything, everybody's late because they said they say it can make money. Now they like, oh, I want to talk on social media. I called it out a couple of months ago, about 6, 7 months ago. But you follow the nerds. The nerds tell you what's going to happen. But see, what we do is we like to bully the nerds. And treat them like they're nobody. But the nerds are the people. Once I'm gonna be honest with you. Once our people decide to follow the nerds, sky's the limit. Those who keep following the King of New York. The King of New York is always a drug dealer. Why? The man of the people is always the dude that's hood. Why? Follow the nerds. The nerds have the plan. See what the nerds talking about. To be honest, the real popular guy that's the head of the or whatever, who's just the face, he's listening to the more intelligent people. You hoping he's listening to the nerds. You hoping he ain't just making he listen to it. Like, come on. Do you really think Joe Biden is super duper intelligent? Or you hope Joe Biden's listening to his people that's supposed to have intelligence in the areas that they're supposed to have intelligence in? Right? At this age. Oh, nobody's what, 80 something? Right? Are you hoping he's listening to the nerds? Right? We was hoping that Donald Trump, that's what messed Donald Trump up when he ran. He didn't listen to the nerds. Y'all gotta follow the nerds. Y'all looking for the cool dude. Cool dudes ain't it. Get the nerd. Ladies, get the nerd. You looking for the guy that comes in and sweeps you off your feet and that's charismatic and that's funny and that's charming and all those things and stuff like that. That's a provider and hard worker, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yo, so is all the other women. But the ones who get the richest are the ones that get with the nerds. Follow the nerds. You know what the nerds are telling you right now? AI is about to take over. That's what they're saying. They're saying if you're not familiar with AI, and it's not, I'm giving y'all the scoop. I shouldn't even give it to you. If you're not familiar with AI, you're gonna be left behind. That's the new generated thing. It's happening at such a fast pace. They thought it was gonna be 5 to 10 years away. Now they said nope, this is next year, 2 years. So and now with AI, you don't have to code. Follow the nerds. What's this thing, a cell phone? I don't know how to turn it on. You better follow the nerds. Follow the nerds. Listen to them. Because everybody's like, it's bad to be a nerd. No, it's not. Follow the nerds, man. The nerds. In music. Y'all know why music is not good? No nerds are making them. You gotta have the person that's brilliant behind you making the music. Follow the nerds. The nerds hire the cool people to promote the stuff that they're nerding from. Follow the nerds. The nerds write the check. The nerds that build the infrastructure. And see what happens was this, right? What used to happen was the bully would take advantage of the nerd, get him to do his homework, get him to prepare the infrastructure, doing all that, right? But the nerd has evolved. And what ends up happening with the nerd was like, hey, I don't need the bully. I can, if I get enough capital, I can hire some guys to protect me from the bullies. So what ended up happening was the nerds start getting over and start building their own infrastructure, start building stuff. Hey, I can do this. I don't need the bully. I'm doing this myself. I don't need y'all. They start getting together, Manosphere. Came together. Oh, we made Microsoft. Came together. Oh, we made Apple. Came together. Oh, now we created AI. Let's make it better. Follow the nerds. I've been looking what's that movie? The movie about GameStop. I forgot the name of it. Great movie. They follow the nerds. Made people millions. Millions. Hey man, this is a good start. We need a whole. This is what big corporations doing. Blah 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 blah. Made millions. So then the other nerds like, that makes sense. Jeff Bezos, nerd. Mike Zuckerberg, nerd. Steve Jobs, cool nerd. You know what I'm saying? Uh, follow the nerds. The nerd. This is the year of the nerd. You know what I'm saying? This is the time for the nerds to go for. Follow the nerds. So y'all want to listen to the hood guy? No, go with the hood, go with the nerd. You know what I'm saying? Go with the nerd. You gonna learn? Bill Gates, nerd. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk, cool nerd. Elon Musk comes from a family of nerds. Tesla, they just had money. Y'all gotta follow the nerds. It's a generation. The people that study, read. And that's what the man in fear is. Listen, y'all, thank y'all for listening to the show. This is your boy, King Joe. I hope you guys got something out of it. I felt this in my heart this morning, so I came and talked about it. Man, we got a lot of stuff coming up for you for the year 2024. We got a new relationship show starting in 2024. The Love Below is starting 2024 that I'm producing. Also, we're working on the Du Jour Network that I'm putting together. Listen, man, I appreciate you guys for supporting. I appreciate you guys for coming through. We got a lot of big things going with it. Du Jour, go get the paraphernalia. You know, we got a lot of things that we're working on and putting together that we have. We just had our building is up. God bless God for that. That's a blessing. We just got our new building. It's not huge, just a little small, something that God blessed us with. I was like, we put on some property, which is a blessing, man. It's a blessing. We get ready to start building on that. So next year, hopefully, we'll be opening up our creative studio, our first one. It's not a big deal. I'm starting. I don't. But I'm not. But I appreciate the small beginnings. You know what I'm saying? I'm defrauding our small beginnings. So like, we got our first building that we just got. We just purchased. The Georgia's purchased our first building. Man, we got some more. Man, we got a lot of things that we're working on to try to bring you guys the very best and clean, positive entertainment, positive technology, positive clothing, and infrastructure. Man, we got a lot of things that we're working on and really trying to partner with people who will have the same mindset and have the same drive and goals that we do. Right. Everything today, talking to the guys, to my men, man, to the fellas. You know what I'm saying? Everything is said out of love today, right? Said out of love and necessity. You know what I'm saying? We can make things better together with unity, okay? So listen, stay with that. Continue to support. Make sure you like. They say I don't say this enough. I don't like saying it, but it is what it is. 'Cause I feel like I'm copying whatever somebody else's script, what it is. Make sure you guys like and subscribe on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of people watching the content. Well, our YouTube numbers aren't great, right? But our Facebook and our Instagram numbers are good. So I need more YouTubers to get on, like, subscribe, share. If you're not subscribing to me on YouTube, Subscribe to me on YouTube because I'm gonna start the new year just doing a lot of stuff on YouTube. Not really doing it on Facebook, giving snips on Facebook. Facebook has been super. We thank all the Patreons and people that's been following us on Facebook. We became one of the new uh, uh, digital creators to watch. That's because of you guys having our backs and being with us. And we've been at this for a long time. So for us just to get this is crazy. That just shows that you have to be diligent and be very, very persistent in trying to reach your goals. All right. I love you guys so much, man. I hope to see you guys soon. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I don't even know the script. I don't know the script. Like, share, subscribe, leave a heart, do all that stuff. Hey man, we'll holler at you guys soon. Thank you guys for coming. Those who come in, thanks to Jackson, thanks to Keith, thanks to everyone that come in tonight. Thank y'all this morning. Thank y'all for sticking with me and chilling with me this morning. I'll holler at you guys later. Y'all be guests. Peace.